Yes, there we are.
Hello, everybody. Today it is November 4th. The year is almost over. And
Okay.
I am here because I have the absolute honor of introducing someone who has changed the way that I see leadership, community, and purpose. She is my co-founder for Rockstar Women in AI. She's my friend. She's my inspiration most days, even with her feed or anything. So together, we built Rockstar Women in AI. It's a community to give women space to rise and to feel that they can. And that's what we try to accomplish. But also, long before that, Femke here had already been building a movement with Dutch women in cybersecurity, as well as Team Copilot, where I had the absolute pleasure of writing my very first blog. So, as you can imagine, Femke just doesn't create content. She creates connections. That's a proof of why I am here today. So she turns ideas into impact, people into opportunities. She leads with authenticity, clarity, and the kind of energy that makes you want to do more, dream bigger, and take that next step. She's proved that personal branding isn't about standing out. It's about standing for something. So get ready to meet one of the most visionaries, generous, and unstoppable women that I know. Samka, my rock star, the spotlight is yours.
Thank you so much, Melissa. It's an honor to do this because, like, we are talking about this for so many weeks, months already about talking about personal branding. And from our community, the Rockstar Women in AI community, we think it's a really important topic because we really want to put as much women at the stage that we have and share their story. And it can be really I don't want to say creepy, a little bit in Halloween style, but still to go forward and share your story. So we said it's absolutely really important to share more about this. Yeah, I'm excited to share a little bit about my story. Let me see if I can put it all on screen right now. Sharing and let me see. I'm thinking we are good now. So, personal branding. And the first question that I have for all of you is, did you Google yourself once? I think everyone did that once, right? Or a lot of times. I Google myself a lot of times, but I also ask Copilot or ChatGPT or other AI tools. I ask about who is Femke? Who is Femke really? And I think it's really important in the time that we are now that we totally understand who we are in the digital worlds. So your digital self is trained by algorithms every day. So the question is, what is your story and what do you really want people see you as a person? Because whatever you like it or don't like it, you are already a personal brand. So everyone can find your name somewhere, can search for you, who you are. And I think it's really important when you have like a job offer or something like that you totally understand that everyone is using AI to searching for your name, who you are, what you did, what are the things that you said in the past, or how do you want to be found as well. So you are the person who is responsible for all of that. So for the person that don't know me yet, my name is Femke Cornelissen, Chief Co-Pilot at Wortel. I'm the founder of Dutch Women in Tech, Team Co-Pilot, and as well Rockstar Women in AI, Microsoft MVP, and I'm working on Expert Live, one of the communities that has a lot of events worldwide, and I'm really happy to work there with so many amazing people on all these kind of communities. First, I think it's really good to mention where I came from. So I started my journey not in tech. I started my journey behind the camera. So making pictures, making stories of other people was always something that I really enjoyed and really liked to do. So I needed to have as well as an entrepreneur work. So I start learning to share that kind of knowledge, where I am, what I'm doing, and other people saw that. I have some people around me who supporting me as well and helping me in the journey as well. But it gave me like new opportunities, new work. So I did a lot of things there as well on that part on other social media that I would talk about today. Today we're talking about LinkedIn, but then it was Hives. It was something typical Dutch. But there we shared a lot of stories about when I make some pictures from people in the studio, or when I traveled to, for example, Dubai or New York and met some incredible people when sharing that we are together. So a lot of the things that happened then when I was younger, I think it's the same thing that I do now in technology, where I try to capture the moments, where I try to share the story that I see and try to help others as well on that part. So I think visibility can bring you a lot of opportunities, even when you are an entrepreneur, a photographer, or if you are in a tech space. I think it doesn't matter in what kind of space you are, but visibility is something that people remind. And for me, at this time, is I think when people thinking about Copilot, I hope they will think about Femke, and that when they even need Copilot or something like that they come to me and say, okay, we need to be at Wordell, because there is a girl who's searching a lot of content around it and sees something who's speaking a lot around Copilot as well. So the thing that I did in the past, and I did things that I do now, is I really decided to show up. And maybe it's not always perfect. Maybe it's not always that good, but I'm visible. And I think the learnings as well in my journey from when I started really young as an entrepreneur, and I think like 3 years ago, I started more on the tech part as well by sharing my stories. The journey that I have had in there was also really important, that people see you growing and actually see what you are doing, and that you learn as well from some kind of things. And we as humans really like to see that. Visibility creates a lot of opportunities. First of all, that. Okay. And the world is changing really fast. So what we see is there is a lot of AI generated content. And most of the content that we see, like 80%, is AI generated, or things that you get from out of the algorithm content. And you are the person who are responsible for that as well. But a lot of people using AI generated content, or you get all kind of information that is pushed by AI or an AI bot or all that kind of information. So it means your brand is not longer what you say about yourself. It is also a little bit like a digital footprint about what the machines believes about you. So how more you tell about some kind of subject, different kind of channels, then you will see that AI will also pick that up and say, okay, this is the truth. So if you don't build that, or if you don't work on that, then things will happen by themselves. So it's good to have your story ready and share it, for example, on your website, on your LinkedIn, or in on different kind of content parts that you are working on. Then reality, and I think this one is what I really like, because we all have a corporate account that we probably work for, and what we see is that like 8 times more visibility on a personal brand instead of a company brand. And yes, I know not everyone will share all the same things that you are doing from a corporate account, but it means if you share something, then you have like more visibility or more reach than the company can have by itself. So 8 times more. And I think that's where it's get really important for organizations to start with helping people on their personal branding. For example, give them some time or give them some opportunity to learn on it, because it's not just marketeers, but it's also like influencers that you get in your organization will build their trust in the world, and people will always want to work with people and not just logos. Or of course, logos is also really important, some of really important, but people will always want to work with people. And when there is trust, then I think magic can happen there. So if you're the face from in that kind of story, you make that company absolutely more human. And that will touch people. And I think no advertising can get out of that. I think it's really, really nice if you have people in your organization who can share the organization brand and be visible on that. So the reality is, I think you are the brand. And that is exactly the question that you need to ask yourself. How do you make that brand visible? And how can you ask your company as well that to be part of that? And I think for your company, it attracts like new talents, or things that I have seen attracts new talents, but it also gives a lot of trust because people really seeing the human there. Let's see if I can go to the next slide. Yes. So I want to talk about this person. I think she almost can work at Wortel because she has a lovely green address there. But this is Lara Sophie Butler. And she is doing amazing work when we're talking about personal branding. In 1 year time, she has 400 million impressions worldwide on LinkedIn. And she have marketing advertisements of like $30 million and more than 10,000 marketing leads. And she's working for Deloitte. So she started to generate technology, things that are new in the market or things that really complex. She makes it more human by sharing the story that she is seeing. And I don't know her really long. The first time that I saw her on LinkedIn was like last week. But I think it's impressive to see that there are people who are actually having this as a job, day-to-day job, to telling the story for like such a big corporate organization who's sharing stories around make tech more human. And I think that's exactly why we need this. So what she did was she actually made a story that go viral about her grandpa and share a story around that. How technology impacts her grandpa, for example. So I think it's amazing to see a lot of people who get visible. It actually can help the company as well in a lot of visibility and a lot of new clients or more revenue. The one thing that AI can do, and I think AI can learn a lot, but it never, ever can do humanity things. So it can write my words. I can give my feelings. So I think it's good to have that as a combination. It can write, it can help me, but my feelings is something that it never, ever can get out of there. So use AI there as your, I don't know, creative wingman or something how I need to call it. But let it help and let it talk and let it do something for you. But let it still be humanizing. Let it still be you as a person who has that feeling and want to share something. And I think that is exactly the thing that we all want to know and want to do. Yeah, special car. I asked today on Copilot what kind of car I am. So I really need to laugh about this because it gives me, you're a modern light car, elegance vibe that suits your style. Perfect for the light, elegant vibe trip. I really need to laugh about this. Electric car, stylish. Okay, so I'm this. Copilot says I'm this. But what I really wanted to share is that what we need to learn is thinking forward. And I think that's also with Copilot. When we use Copilot, for example, we always need to think a few steps ahead. And why this car? It's not actually my car. I'm thankful for that. But why this car? When I'm in the car and I go to, for example, like an event, I always think about a few steps in front. So why? What am I doing at the event? What is the session that I'm going to give? What kind of people are there? What am I feeling? And I'm already talking with an AI, for example, like ChatGPT or a Copilot about my story for that day. And I am already searching for good content. And sometimes it's not already there, but it's better to be actually at the event. But I'm doing that always in front. The other thing that I have learned is always say thank you when you get some opportunities and ask and do that as well online. So when you have your pictures, I know for a lot of us it's really awkward to make some pictures from yourself, but always say thank you for everyone who helped you for your speaker opportunities or being at an event or that people make time for you. So that's really important to do. So that's a bit of two types. Always think a few steps in front. What kind of opportunities are there and what do I really want to say and what want other people to know or learn from? And the other thing is say always thank you to everyone where you are and when you get some opportunities. This is a slide from one of the things that I'm going to present this weekend, and they asked me to talk about human upgrades, what kind of things that we need to know about the skills, and what kind of things are really going to change about different kind of skills that we need to have. And I think the one thing that we really need to learn is that we need to learn to talk with AI, with empathy, creativity, and all the things that we have as a human, that we make our story there when we talk about storytelling, for example. But we also need to learn to that the changes that are there are going really fast, and we need to understand what's new, what's coming, and what are the things that we be prepared. And we also need to know what kind of things we not want to automate, but we need to learn as a person what we want to do by yourself, what kind of things AI need to do for us. And I think that's interesting when you think about that car. You prepare yourself on the content that you really want to do, and as well asking to say, for example, like always, thank you for the things that you get. You need to understand what kind of things can I automate, who am I, and how can I build, for example, an agent on this or a project on this. So you have always the sort of same style, and that AI, for example, can give you some questions to get that humanity back, and as well some creativity from your side to get the right story. This is something that I post today. And it's, I think, one of the great examples to say, okay, how can we get more human thing in this part? Because it's the end of the year, Christmas is coming, and it feels strange, but it's always not a really nice time of the year when you're missing some people. And I feel that every year. I feel it a lot in the air, but especially when you see like Christmas things coming up. So what I do, as always, watching some pictures and finding out if I can look back at the past. And yeah, I think this is an example. I use Copilot by making this picture again alive in the time that we are living now. And no, it's not perfect. I think it can be more perfect. And when I'm smiling and when it's my dad had more hair, but it's means something. It really means something. It gives back really something human. So this is something that I felt. And then I also think, okay, I don't know if actually someone is really liking it. And is it too much, baby? But then I just post it and see what's happening. And so sometimes it works, but it's still me. It's always me. And that's the thing that I want to share here. And this is as well, I think, an example for I start speaking in a bit, like 1.5 weeks. Microsoft Ignite is there. And yes, it's a dream. It's really a dream. Like last year, I was sitting with our CEO and I said, okay, I want one thing. And that one thing is I really want to speak at Ignite. So I don't know how we're going to fix it, but I want once in my life, I want to do this. So, okay, I didn't put that on my social media post, but yes, it's a dream. And I shared to others that it's my dream. And this is really my feeling. So I think it's good to bring that back in your post, saying that is something really important for you as a person. And people will like that because they're seeing that you actually mean it, what you're saying. So I share a lot around my personal things, what you're already seeing, but I also share, I think, more technical knowledge. Now is the prompting cheats are probably not that technical, but I really love to deep dive as well in a different kind of technology from Microsoft itself. And I try to change that a little bit in personal. And once in a few days, I try to make it as well more technical based, or things that I see in the market. And a lot of people ask me, how are you doing this with so many contents? Yeah, my brain is always on, I think. So I have actually a notebook that I write all the topics that I see. And for example, when I'm with a client and they say, okay, this is where we have a need, or this is what happens. And when I hear that like 3 or 4 times, then I know, okay, this is a topic where I really need to do something or make something, because I had this question now already so many times. So let's build something and let's share it. So that's actually how I do that. And I started that with my website. It's almost like 8 or 9 years ago. A website with my own name. And no one was actually going to that website. No one in the beginning. And I always was really scared to share it as well. All the stories there, or publish it on LinkedIn. I always thought, okay, no one would like it. People were always better than what I want to share. So I really confused myself a lot, but I keep going and not always post it on LinkedIn. But now, like 9 years later, it's like a platform that has so many visibilities as well, that it's also grown really hard because it was continuous and I keep posting. On my website now, I post actually only when I have really something that I think, I want to put it on my website. I have already posted so many things on LinkedIn. Maybe I need to post it there, or bring everything more together, that kind of things. So the lessons learned here is, I think, make it personal, but also share some knowledge about that you have from the technical fields, or this also can be adoption part or things that you see in the fields where you want to share something about. But let your pro scene and pick up what kind of content you want to create where. I push as well some content on Instagram, on YouTube, on my website, on LinkedIn. But I really choose LinkedIn is my platform and mostly the most focusing on. If I have more time, I also put it on the other website as well. So you can choose. This is as well a picture from me with a Microsoft Viva shared on, but this is a picture of me traveling, and everyone is traveling. But this is again a story, I think, for a lot of people that resonates when they see you go away, you travel to the other side of the world, you're leaving your children away. I think everyone has a feeling on that, if that's good or not, but everyone has a feeling. So this kind of things is not easy to make a picture of yourself in a airplane, but it's really resonated with a lot of people. And I think that will help when you make some pictures in different kind of areas that people understand and what you can use as your story. I'm a person who makes a lot of pictures, so it's in a lot of times I don't actually knowing already that I want to do something with this. So it's as well that I do that like months later, and I think, okay, this is a nice picture, what resonates with, for example, speaking at another country or something like that. I want to ask you to do something, because sometimes we think we are someone, but I want to ask you to put in the comments one word in a chat where you say, okay, this is something that associates with me as a person. So not me, but you as a person. What is the thing that you want to be reminded of? For example, passion, or I don't know, that kind of things. What are the things that people actually want to see you in? And I hope you can put it in. And of course, later on, I will check it as well. But are your posts, your private profile, all the things that you do in your daily life, your actions, is that with that word? Is that one thing, right? Put it in your prompts, put it in your content all the time, because that's really what makes you as a person and who you want to be seen. And it can be different kind of words, but I think it's good to have one word. You think, okay, this is who I want to be. And I think the thing that I want to share as well is you don't need to shut out really loud, but it's really good to be clear and have some different kind of words. How do you want to, that people want to see you? And sometimes that's different in your mind than you actually think it is. So it's also good to ask people around you and ask for feedback. Ask that same question. What kind of words are you thinking about when you see me? Or can you give me some feedback on how I'm doing online? And I think that's a different kind of way how you're acting in normal way, but it's as well online, people seeing you for the first time, or sharing, plugging in on your website or on LinkedIn. So it's interesting to think about that as well and learn from that, because I think we all can learn how people seeing us. A few things that I want to share on this slide on Compass. And I think we need credibility, connection, consequence, and we need to be curious. So I think everyone who is working on a personal brand needs to think about these 4 things. So you need to be credibility, you need to have a connection. So it's good to have emotional tone there. So get that back in everything that you do. You need to be consequent. So the rhythm is really important. And for me, I share a lot. I share sometimes 1 or 2 times a day, but I think it's not necessary to do that. I think you also can do the same impact with, for example, like 3 posts in a week. It's me being really love to share a lot of things, but I don't think the impacts will be different when you do it lower and less. But it's the story you actually want to share. And the curiosity is the thing that make learning, the things that you learn, make it visible, because you don't need to be perfect, and it's really nice that people seeing that you are growing and they feel aligned with your story. And that's really important, to have that kind of people around you who actually feel the same and grow with you, and are really proud of what the things that you are doing. So keep that 4 things in line. Then I want to talk about 3 things that actually helps me a lot. And I always need to think about this: personal branding, AI, and community. If I say personal branding plus AI plus community, it gives impact. Personal branding gives you the visibility. AI, you can accelerate with it, and community is you can multiply all the way. And why I want to say this, because when you look at the next slide, it's working. Why I'm going to say this: with personal branding, first you start with something, and then you have no followers, right? And but all of us having some passion, so you really want to start somewhere. So from my part, it's like being a photographer, sharing stories. Then I wanted to be a speaker. First of all, I wanted to be in tech, and I had a lot of time that I still have that, who is really waiting for me. But until you learn that visibility is really something, it doesn't start what you know, but with what you want to share. You don't have to be know everything right away. So it's good with the things that move you, and will move, that people can follow your growth. And there's one thing that I really want to share here is for example, the Favicon. I'm since this week as well partner in this. I'm really excited about this platform because it gives you some metrics around, of course, are you growing in your LinkedIn? How many times do you been tagged? For me, it's almost like 1,000 times in a week that someone is tagging me. So it's a lot. And people ask you a lot of questions as well, but it's something that's happening and it makes impact. Not only that, you also can see how authentic your posts are, and you can see how you're doing in different kind of areas. As I would say influencer. I don't know if it feels really well to say influencer by myself, but as a person who's sharing content. So it's nice to plug in there and see how you're doing it and what kind of posts really did well. And the human part is coming really back here. It's not about how many followers you had. It's really looking at the data from LinkedIn itself and the growth that you have there. And as well, the statistics, so some things that like the tags and that kind of thing. So for me, it's really nice to see a growth there and looking at what kind of content is resonates with my audience and whatnot. So I will say check it out, Favicon as well. It's really nice to see where you're standing and where you can learn. Then I want to talk about AI, and one of the things that I, of course, use a lot of is AI in my content. And it starts with, for example, thinking forward again. For example, when I have a Teams call with a client, or when I have a Teams call with someone where I need to present, I always use, for example, Teams. I always put the transcript out, and I always listen back the podcast, AI-generated podcast, about the topic that I need to talk about. And for me, listen to that topic, learning from two AI voices, how they're talking in a leadership style about, for example, the session that I need to give me so many insights that it gives me a good preparation for my presentation that I need to give for that client. But as well, the transcript can I use in Researcher. I can use it in Analyze, in Copilot. And it gives me a structure about what I want to share, how I need to put my slides together. And then I actually put my human part in it, because I wanted to make the story from my part. But I totally understand how this company is working. I totally understand how they do in the market. I also analyzing different kind of things on their competitors, that kind of things. And I'm searching for the content that I already have and how I can put my personal perspective on it. So this is an example how I prepare my presentations, but it's not only that. I use that same transcript as well to make like a blog post for our website, or I use that same content as well to do other things for LinkedIn, or to create a webinar or something like that. So that transcript is the gold for me, and I actually reuse it. The other thing that I use a lot is CapCut. I hope I say it right. But you can put there, for example, your generated video text in, and you don't want to say everything that you put in there, but you can have like text, so you can understand all the things that you don't want to miss and that you really want to say there. So different kind of words you can put in, and you don't forget that you want to say that kind of story and words popping up. So I think that's are some things that really can help you to share your story. And it starts again with a transcript, but as well in your video, it gives you a good perspective in what is there happening, what is really happening in the world, what is happening with my customer, and what is the thing that I want to share, for example, on my content, and how is AI helping me with that. So CapCut, Canva is what I use a lot. Researcher, Analyze, Microsoft Teams, and of course Copilot. For some things I also use ChatGPT. And I have a few agents built, for example, on new content that Microsoft is publishing, and I get information around that and put that in the agents and make a first draft of content. And that's not always like that I can reuse it, but sometimes yes. And it gives me a lot of inspiration for the things that I do. So AI, everything that you do, you can rethink about reusing it. It's really important. So your Teams call, but as well, for example, podcast that you're making with someone, you can get a transcript out of it, and you can create a lot of new content there on the different kind of social media that you're using. And then community. This is as well one of the slides that I'm going to share this weekend, but it's really important to build on a community. But I believe everything goes so fast that we can keep up alone. But when we're thinking about personal brands and AI, and especially when we also say in community, I think when we bring that all together, we all learning together and we work together. And a few examples that we're doing on Rockstar Women AI and as well Team Copilot is that more voices will bring in their perspective. We get better content. And we helping each other, and we're growing with each other as well. So you can do things by yourself, and I think it's absolutely great if you two doing things by yourself. and you need to learn, and you need to finding out what kind of things that you like. But doing things together makes it much, much bigger. It gives a better feeling, but as well, the impact will be much, much bigger because people are going to tag you, you're going to tag them, you lift each other up. And I think that's amazing. And we all cannot know what all the new things is all the time. So it's good to have like a group where you can ask questions in a safe way and learn from each other. So I think that's the thing when you really go to fly and grow. So once again, personal branding, AI, and community. Then I want to talk about one other thing, and I think this is something that we need to think about from all of us. Need to think about mentorship or sponsorship. And a mentor is someone who talks to you, guides you, and coaches you. But a sponsorship is something that some people who are talking about you. They're talking about you in places where you are not. They're talking about you, helping you to get that opportunity, for example. And I think one of the things when I'm talking about personal branding and showing up and sharing my stories, you need to have sponsors. Sponsors will say to you, I give you a seat on that table, or I say that I want you on that stage because I believe in you, and I know that you really want to do this. So keep showing up, keep going. Don't stop with sharing your story. Ask for help. Focus on sponsorships. People who really love to be with you, who really want to help you to move forward. I think that's really, really interesting to think about. And I think everyone knows who they are. And I never, ever thought about it in front of. But now I know with the growth that I have a few, like a handful of people who are believing me, probably more people, but who actually give me opportunities in places that I never imagined that I could do things. So it's good to think about who they are and how you can help each other. And the other way around is, I think, when people give you opportunities, I think you also need to do it in the other way. And I think there's some things that we're doing, for example, with the Rockstar Women in AI, and as well with Team Copilot and Touch Women in Tech, and in so many places we need to give to get as well. And it's not only we want to get, you need to give a lot, and don't ask anything in return, but it will happen. It will happen. And you can ask to sort of people what you want to do and where you want to grow to, but it's not necessary. I think it's good to just give. And I think community and that kind of things is all about giving your things. So yeah, I'm really excited to share all this kind of things, and please reach out to me on LinkedIn or somewhere if you want to learn more. If you want to learn, for example, how to build your LinkedIn and how you can grow there more, I love to help you around that. So I want to say thank you for being here, and I hope everyone has learned something from this session. I think this will work. So thank you so much. I sing some words as well now on the LinkedIn part, and I love that. For a CapCut, but as well creative, and some people who are saying a lot of loyal, creative. I love it. Hey, Melissa.
Hello. This is fantastic. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for a fantastic session. And we cannot wait to hear more from you. Thank you for the time and for all the efforts.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.